Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's weekly energy boost. My name is Elisheva, and today I'm here with Eitan to talk about how to live, how to live, how to lead, how to be alive in the most fulfilling life we can live. And you'll be surprised, it's not what you're expecting. And one of the beautiful gifts we received this week, which it cannot be a coincidence that we're wrapping up 2025 and setting goals and New Year's resolutions for 2026, that the universe is giving us an opportunity to really rethink how we do things, why we do things, and how to look at the challenges and struggles in our lives in such a way that we don't appreciate them after the fact. We appreciate them in the midst of them and use them as the tools that they're meant to be. So we're fortunate enough this week not only to have the support, but also to be able to share this wisdom with you so that all of us receive what the universe wants to give us this week so that we can live next year in a deeply fulfilling, meaningful, and inspiring life. Weekly Energy Boost is a 7-day spiritual weather forecast in which we provide our listeners with the most practical and powerful tools to overcome the challenges of the coming 7 days. I guess that's how it needs to be this week. We do that by providing our listeners with the most practical wisdom and tools we can find from the teachings of Kabbalah so that every episode ends up revealing wisdom and tools you can use anytime. And of course, this is no different, but for us this week, it's important that each one of us in our own lives is able to ascertain and understand the opportunities that are coming, because this week, and this is something that the Kabbalists teach about every week, every day, even every hour, the light that we can reveal now is unlike any other light we've been able to reveal, and any other light will be able to reveal. It's like receiving a gift or a package in the mail and not opening it. You have a house full of packages and we haven't accessed them. So part of what we're trying to share this week is the approach that will help you extract, open up that gift and utilize it, not only this week when it's being given to us, but throughout the coming year. So Eitan, where do you think is the best place for us to begin this conversation?
It's interesting that the name of this portion from the Torah is Vayechi, refer to being alive. So I can physically be alive, but doesn't mean I feel alive, filled with energy, filled with excitement, filled with passion, filled with desire, filled with motivation. So the Kabbalah speaks about, and we need to go back to basics, that there are two fundamental forces in the universe. The energy of the Creator, which is the infinite force of good, of miracles, of blessings, of exciting abundance in every aspect of our life. And there's the vessel, which the Creator created us as a vessel. Vessel means beings with capacity, not physical vessel, spiritual vessel, that capable to receive and to enjoy and to experience the greatness of the life. What's the definition of a vessel, Kabbalistically? Consciousness of a desire to receive. I want. The paradox is, while the light of God, of the Creator, is infinite, the amount of that light that I would experience in my life depend of how strong, intense, deep, and eternal is my desire, my vessel. So if the Creator wants to give me a healing and amazing ideas in business, an amazing relationship, and strengthen and creating miracles in my present relationship and finding my true gift, if I don't have a desire towards connecting to the gifts from the light that will help me to improve all these areas, I won't experience it. It will be potential energy that dormant and sleeping within me without being activated. So the Kabbalah is saying, and the secret of this week, especially as we're planting the seed for the new year, for 2026, are you increasing your desire? No matter what you're going through in life. It's easy to have a strong passion, motivation, desire when you have clear vision of what you're going to get and what's coming and the potential relationship and the potential deal. Oh, I'm learning something spiritual that is new and it's amazing and I'm excited. And it flows and I feel it. It's resonated. I'm excited to. But how powerful my desire when things don't seem to work my way? How powerful is my desire to grow? How much desire is how much passion I have, how much excitement I have, how motivated I am about the real things in life to take them to the next level. So really, before even we starting, we want to open our heart and soul this week for the whole 2026 to lead with powerful, strong desire that comes from the soul, of course, not from the ego. Desire to grow, desire to elevate, desire to experience my potential, desire to go to my next level. But the secret of building desire that is consistent and as a result attracting consistent blessings is how do you push and you grow the desire when externally you don't see clearly what's coming. So for example, in this portion in the Torah, it says, Vayechi Yaakov. Jacob lived. He last 17 years of his life. He reached the highest level of prophecy. Where in Egypt? Egypt is a code of the places of limitations. So imagine the highest level of consciousness, while in physical life and externally you're constricted, but you don't lose your desire for more, for growth, for elevation. You're not confined by the external. So really, it's easy to say, I'm motivated because you just told me something amazing, or because I see an opening for something good coming in my life. Motivation for growth, for light, for elevations, for improvement of my relationship, for connecting to my true gifts, for making a greater difference in people's life, for improving every aspect of my life in a lasting way. It's something that was not meant to be controlled by external circumstances while we are all affected. But that's the test. So let's start this discussion. Because when you're motivated, regardless if you see immediate results, you're already fulfilled. The energy of motivation that comes from soul, not from ego, not just for temporary thing. When you maintain that, it's not just about achieving that goal and then you sleep again. It's something that Kabbalistically, actually, as you become older, spiritually, you're supposed to have increased motivation for growth, deeper and more real. The illusion of when I will achieve, I can rest is the opposite of Kabbalistic consciousness, because that light cannot dwell in a place of no desire. So Elisheva, what works for you in those moments that you don't feel naturally motivated? It's a gift to be motivated. And when you don't, to awaken that motivation, what works for you?
So it's a good question, because I'm constantly looking for more, let's say, new ways to go about things. And maybe that's part of it, is that what supports me when I don't see the results or the outcome, or sometimes it's a matter of, I realize about myself that all the areas in my life benefit when I have something creative to work on. When I'm building and investing in something new, a new class, a new project, a new group. And if I look back on my life, and I hope that everybody, I'm going to probably have to say it a few different ways, but when I look back on my life and I see, there's certain projects I worked on that never saw the light of day. And there's certain classes that I put together that no one ever gave. And there's certain groups that, they stayed together for a few months and then they kind of dissipated. But at the same time, my excitement and energy and drive and passion while I was creating those things didn't go away. Meaning, if I let myself be attached to the physical production, let's say of a project that I worked on, and if I was fixated, this is me looking back and then realizing this is the way I hack the system to stay in a place of greater desire and motivation. If I always have something to invest energy in that is new, that is creative, that is I want to say production, but it's like to create something out of nothing. Even if that thing that I think I'm creating doesn't actually manifest in something, all of the other areas of my life are energized by it because I'm energized. And to me, that's a proof of exactly what you're saying. It's not about, I am so excited to create this new course. I can't wait for all these people to hear it and be inspired. The fact that my energy is passionate and involved, and I'm waking up every day with excitement and curiosity, and all the other areas of my life are energized by that. I realized after multiple times of things not seeing the light of day, it's not about the result. This is something I know I can do to generate, and I'm not saying you should look for projects that aren't going to be fruitful, but just to figure out for you, what is the element that makes you on fire? What is it? What's that something that you, and by the way, it might mean learning a language or doing some sort of physical exercise. There's something that helps you to keep a spark in you, and then that spark lights up all the other areas of your life.
So that's beautiful. So what you're saying, the fact that you're working on something new and positive, let's say something new
Definitely
and
positive.
positive that truly contributing, knowing that the purpose of that, this is just a spark that can ignite other flames in other areas in our life. Okay, so that's beautiful. So that's one thing. Let's ask another question. Let's say a person is in a relationship, love relationship, and they're not as passionate. In the heart of hearts, they know I need to invest more energy. If I'm truly listening to my soul, I shouldn't quit. But they don't know how to ignite the passions. Usually, you're willing to do more work when you have some passion or motivation. So something made you feared of the pain if it's not gonna work, if you're gonna lose this relationship. So and you know what can ignite the next level of love, because very often in relationship, when the relationship meant to go to the next level, sometimes will be, we don't call it a problem, but will be moment of concealment of the spark, only to invite more passion, more desire, more growth. And I love that idea that a lot of people think that love, reaching a place that you love your mate or you have such a loving relationship, this is not necessarily the final destination. Real relationship between us and people that we love, and between us and the Creator, is I love and I appreciate, but I still missing them. Imagine, can you love someone and miss them at the same time? Absolutely yes. Because you need to always create a room for the next level. And sometimes life brings us to a place you need to go to the next level. You're a little bit stagnant. Awaken deeper motivation. But you don't feel passion for some reason. So some people mistaken it, you know what? I don't feel passion, I quit, let me look outside. Because it's a trap. Someone new I'll be passionate about. Sometimes someone new is what the ego looking for. Find the newness in the present relationship. So you need to differentiate, not just running away towards newness. Sometimes, how do you find the spark of newness in the present relationship? Any suggestion?
So I learned something, and this comes from, I'm actually going to probably borrow an example from a class you taught about when you experience that, like you said, concealment of the spark in a relationship, that it's really a calling to go to the next level in the relationship. You mentioned the word vessel already, so you set it up perfectly. What I've seen in my own life and in others' experience is that it requires what we call like an emptying of the vessel, that you really take the time and effort. Like it's almost the creator saying to you, your homework is to bombard this area of your life with energy, with acts of sharing, with being interested. And like, to me, if I feel that way, it's a sign that I need to go away with my husband for a couple nights and just be by ourselves and not be distracted by the kids and work, and that we really pay attention to one another.
Even though you don't feel naturally to do it, but
Right.
you know it's a sign from the universe, be proactive. And that will awaken the desire within
Like
you.
to give ridiculously, really. And it often feels ridiculous initially because it's not coming from a place of, I'm so excited, I just want to bombard this person with gifts and flowers. It's coming from a place of, like you said, I feel in my soul that it's stuck. There's a little bit of stagnation or routine, or, we're becoming complacent. And in order to get to the next level, I don't want real drama to take us to a place where we need to now, in a serious and uncomfortable way, address issues. Before the issues come to get our attention, it's time to spend quality time. It's time to invest in strengthening the relationship. And by the way, I'm sure we could say it about any other area of life, but that idea of how much can I pour into this relationship now, really before there's an emergency. Like I feel like it's almost a step before an emergency to be able to train ourselves in all the areas of our life to see when I feel stagnant, how can I overflow? How can I pour out my vessel into this area of my life so that my desire expands and there's even more room for growth and love and fulfillment?
Beautiful. So to summarize what you said, we all love when we are naturally motivated, which leads to intensive action that get me closer to more fulfillment, to more love, to more growth, to more elevation. While Kabbalistically, our goal is not just we're doing it for the sake of achieving something specific final outcome, is constantly to find way to increase. Yeah, there are temporary goals in the middle, but to constantly increase. But sometimes I know in my soul I need to be motivated because that's how you keep the light, the energy, the blessing in. But you're not. So what do you do then? So then intensive actions will lead, repetitive intensive actions with discipline will lead to internal motivation. So you don't rely all the time, I'm not motivated, so let me drop it. This time you'll be naturally motivated, but actually to build consistent motivation, desire, which is the vessel for the light, a time you need to do physical actions. In this case, actions of sharing. Or the growth of your company is by you investing more energy and care for your employees. And you add that motivation, but you're a little bit numbing that area. But you realize that, wow, I don't want to experience a major disasters and complaints and negative energy in the company. I realize I desire to awaken through desire, motivation, and passions, and I need to do actions in that area. So sometimes intensive action will awaken motivation. Sometimes motivation will awaken intensive action. So we need both. But the idea is we don't create space and room for the energy of the creator if we're not maintaining increased motivation. Let me give you an example, which is the toughest thing to maintain motivation. It's so much easier to be excited at the beginning of the spiritual work, the first 10 weeks of studying Kabbalah. But then the human nature, especially in the most important areas in our life, is our excitement and desire are decreased. Studying spirituality, investing into our marriage. But that's when we need to build the desire. That's when we need to tell ourselves, yes, I'm not naturally motivated, but that's the time to build true desire and true motivation. That's big part of the spiritual work. How do I apply myself with desire to be excited, desire to be passionate, discipline of study, discipline of action, discipline of giving, discipline of care, and to do it not from place of routine, to at least desire that through this action I want to awaken natural motivation and passion. Because there's a problem if you do things as routine, as religiosity, as that's what I have to do, that's what I should do, doesn't build desire. As to be intention, it's like going to the gym. You don't love going to the gym. And you booked for 10 sessions with your trainer. If you want fast result, which the ultimate result is I'm naturally motivated to go 3 times a week. Every time, even when you hate, again, the trainer, a meeting with the trainer, you have to have at least the intention. Please the creator with the power of this workout that I'm actually committed to. It's awaken natural motivation. To move from not motivation to natural motivation, it's not just actions and discipline, it's desire to move to that place.
I think that what you just shared is maybe the most the most powerful thing you said the whole day, which is that intention. And for me, I think the hardest times of lack of desire and lack of motivation is when you don't see clearly what to do next, when you don't know what the next step is. I speak to a lot of people that they just sit and wait for the answer to come, for the information to come, for the light bulb to go off in their mind. If it's in their relationship, should they take it to the next level? If it's in their career, should they leave? Should they go to another company? Should they choose a different? We have a tendency that when we aren't motivated and we don't see clearly where to go, we don't do anything. And that's also a recipe for disaster. So one of the things that Rav Ashlag, the founder of the Kabbalah Center 100 years ago, said is that if you don't have clarity on what you should do, and sometimes it's clarity on why you're where you are, you don't know what you're doing anymore, right? Instead of struggling to find the clarity, to get the answer, to receive the message, which by and within itself is so draining and frustrating. Even if you had motivation initially and you're wrestling with the decision because you're not clear, it's draining and it's heavy and it can weigh you down. Instead, Rav Ashlag says, focus on the areas in your life where you are clear about why you're there, about what your purpose is, about how your efforts are fruitful. Focus your intention, your effort, and your energy in the areas where you have clarity, and the curtain will lift. And I have had so many moments in my life where I was busy with why and how should, and maybe I shouldn't. And then suddenly I remember this teaching, and I moved to focus my energy and efforts on all the other areas of my life where I feel the light of the Creator is there, I feel guided, I feel connected. And maybe the common denominator is that pouring out of the vessel. When I give full energy to the areas of my life where I have the clarity, the curtain lifts, the next step reveals itself, the answer comes. So to me, this is a message for all of us this week, is to really learn to take the message from the universe when we feel the drop in motivation and excitement and passion and desire. Do something about it. Don't just let it sit there. All right. Well, hopefully everybody takes this mission seriously. And, I always think in these weeks also, their schedules tend to be different. So hopefully everybody's listening to this and strategizing plans for the coming year, enjoying their time off and holidays and family, but also remembering that every moment is an opportunity for growth. And hopefully this message hits home and we all come out into 2026 motivated, excited, passionate, and driven to fulfill the work of our soul. Weekly Energy Boost is available on all podcast platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can follow us on those platforms to receive even more content to support you in what we share on every episode. You can also go to weeklyenergyboost.com, where you can dig through our archives, send us a message, and click the donate button to support Weekly Energy Boost. But as always, the greatest gift you can give us is to share this episode with people that you know that maybe need a little push to get over their lull in motivation and excitement and in lack of clarity. And hopefully this will be the spark of light that helps them. And we'll see you next week on the Weekly Energy Boost.